So 7 days ago, I pulled in at Motorway Services. I had my photo taken with some soldier recruits. Because of that, there was a big uproar, and the Muslim Council of Britain, an extremist organisation, put pressure on the army to do something about it. They decided to discharge one of those young men, a 17-year-old lad who we've called IAmSoldierX. After that, I started receiving so much contact and so much support for this soldier that we started a campaign, #IAmSoldierX. For the last week, I've travelled this country, meeting with soldiers at their army barracks and hearing their stories of why they're frustrated. People have also sent in their pictures and their symbols to show where they stand on this issue. There's been an outpouring of support. Nearly 200,000 people have signed a petition. Now I've decided to black out all of these soldiers' faces and identities, but many of them didn't want me to. So I could have showed them. And then the army are in a predicament. What are they going to do about it? They need to do the right thing here. The public have showed where they feel. Our own armed forces have showed where they feel. They need to not discharge this young boy. He's still in an army barracks now. I found that out yesterday. He's still based on camp now. So make the right decision. So what this has done, it started off over this one individual, and now Pandora's box is open. And people are contacting me from across the world who are serving for our country with their problems. And the establishment will be thinking now, how do they close that box? And the truth is, you can't. You won't be able to. At some point, you're going to have to address and deal with these issues. I've had some young soldiers tell me how they're expected to fight and die and give their life and sacrifice their life for other people's free speech and other people's freedoms, but yet they're having it taken away from them here in Britain.
If I want to follow, if that is my belief, then that is my belief. That is something I should be allowed to share on my own social media. It's not something that other people should be able to dictate what I post. I feel like that's the sort of oppression that shouldn't be forced upon people that are meant to fight that exact thing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
so many people say you're fighting for other people's freedoms in faraway fields. You're fighting,
but we're not allowed our own. Yeah, I understand what I mean. It's like we go out, say for example, if they want to send us wherever we go in the world, it's usually for that cause to fight oppression, and then we're sitting here. I'm not allowed to tell you that you're my idol or whatever. You know, whatever political views. I'm not allowed to be right wing, left wing. I have to be centrist. But that's irrelevant.
When I caught up with a lad who's friends with IAmSoldierX, a lad who served in his training with him as well, I found out that Sky News once again had lied. We all saw straight away the government narrative on this situation, where they put out a news article on Sky News from an army source, which says that this boy has a long history of disciplinary problems, making out that this was the final straw. I've seen lots of people comment on it. Well, he already had lots of bad things he'd done. We find out when we speak to one of his friends, that's a lie. Not only are they happy to destroy the man's career, but they also want to destroy his name and reputation. You know, lad who's being discharged.
I do, yeah.
What's his? Do you know anything about his previous disciplinary?
He hasn't had no disciplinary actions at all. In phase 1, he was fucking spot on. He was good as gold. Didn't have one bad thing against his name.
So how? Because I knew as soon as I saw the narrative the media were trying to spin straight away, this is a long list of disciplinary issues. No?
It's not true, no.
Not true.
It's the army flapping and trying to turn it on him, just to try and get themselves in the right. But at the end of the day, he's a good lad. Nothing's happened to him.
I've become worried this week. The more I found out about our armed services, the level of morale, the conditions, the food. This started off with an attack on their free speech, an attack on their freedom of their own thought, of who they're allowed to follow and speak about. I've had one group of soldiers tell me this week that if they mention my name, then they get disciplinary. If they mention my name. Insanity in our armed services. And this all comes from the push for diversity and inclusion. I've heard stories how between 40 men there's one toilet, one working toilet between 40 men. Think about that. One working toilet between 40 men. 3 working showers between 60 men. The food. I just presumed and I thought that our armed forces would have the best of everything. Especially the food. As one young gentleman told us, one young soldier told us, they say an army marches on its stomach. Fed and prepared and ready. The amount of fitness and training they must be doing. And then the slop and the disgusting food they're getting given. I'm gobsmacked. I was shocked as I'm looking through it all. I think all these issues have become part of IAmSoldierX. I haven't even touched on post-traumatic stress disorder yet. I don't think I can do this justice, any of it justice, in these short videos. But I just thought I'd put a combination of it together to show you the massive support the SoldierX campaign has gained. And I'll be taking this back up if and when I'm released from court or out of prison.